Hello traders, this is Dave with the Compass Options Live Trading Room, and this is just this is a Compass System trade highlights from 8/26. I like to put these out periodically to show how easy it is to find the highest probability trade setups using this Compass system. Really easy to find high probability trades that give us a win rate of 9 out of 10 usually, so extremely high. So I just do cover some of those. First, I have to do the disclaimer. All the signals and trading opportunities provided, both orally, written, etc., are for educational and demonstration purposes only. Trading is risky, as we all know, and you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose. And neither myself or Rightline are licensed financial advisors, so we won't be giving financial advice. The highest probability trade setups that we look for every day in the Compass Options Room are basically, these are the criteria that we use, and I'll show you these on the chart. We're looking for a breakout of a dynamic compression zone, which is a compression zone that's created by the Compass software on the chart. We're looking for Heikin-Ashi reversal candles, so we have a confirmation of a reversal in the direction that we want. We're basically reversing out of a compression and continuing with the trend that the stock has been in. We want to take the breakout in the same direction as the stock. So if the stock is bullish, we want to take it long. If it's bearish, we want to take it short. We want to take a breakout in the same direction as the market trend if the market is trending that day. If the market's choppy, then we'll go ahead and lean on the stock. And we use modified Laguerre as a momentum indicator, which is very effective. And we have one for the current time frame, which would be generally 5-minute time frame, and then we have a modified Laguerre for the multi-time frame, which is actually looking at 3 different time frames. And when those align, which means we've got institutional buying or selling across multiple time frames as well as the current time frame, then that is an entry for us. And we're looking for the Bollinger Band to be expanding, which is indicative of a compression break, a good compression break. And we also want to select stocks that have a relative strength or relative weakness to the SPY. So the stocks are being pushed by institutions, and all of these things tell us that that's happening. The Laguerre especially is telling us that these are institutions in here buying the stock or selling the stock. And if the stock may be a swing trade, we're going to line up the daily chart with the intraday chart we're doing. So if we're trading a stock long, we would intraday, we would like the daily chart to also be bullish. And if there's a pop out of the box signal, which I'll show you, that adds conviction to the trade. And again, these trades that we need to have patience. We look for them during the day, we wait for the compression break, and then we enter the trade. So I'll show you a few that we've traded recently, and then I'll look at some charts that are basically live. They'll be the charts from Friday, so we haven't any trading since then. This was Oxy, and these are the indicators that I was referring to. This is a multi-time frame Laguerre. This is from 3 different time frames, and this is the 5-minute, or in this particular case, the 5-minute. This is the current time frame Laguerre, and what we're looking for is either blue or green for bullish, and we want them to all be the same across the board here. So we have Oxy coming across in a compression. We see the pop out of the box signal, which is this arrow right here. This is where we entered the trade, and then it moves up and continues up and continues up, and we hit our profit target up here. Now we could have stayed in the trade because everything is still green here. No necessary reason to get out. It's just we had a profit target set. So that was Oxy. This was Z. This was another nice one. Again, we had a nice compression here. During the day, there was a dynamic compression zone that formed right here. This particular entry right here was a pop out of the box signal to the downside. Notice that everything on the Compass system is telling us that the institutions are selling this off. So we get in here and we rode this down. We had a little compression, but we keep riding it down. Everything stays red. Get some more compression, and we actually get out right here because we hit our profit target. You could have actually stayed in. Everything was still red. You notice that there was no reason to exit that trade. And this was one I wanted to show. This is Tesla. This is one of the nice ones that we've had recently. This was a dynamic compression. So you can see the shaded area right here. This is running on the Thinkorswim platform, and the Compass system creates this dynamic compression zone when it occurs. And you notice that you get a pop out of the box signal here and here as the stock popped right out of the dynamic compression zone. And this was a Heikin-Archie reversal candle right here. It went from a candle with a wick and a tail to a flat bottom. And you notice these are all flat bottom Heikin-Archie candles all the way up. So you just stay in this trade and just ride it up, ride it up, ride it up. Here we get a Heikin-Archie candle that doesn't have a flat bottom. That's what we exited. You could have stayed in, everything was still green, but being prudent, I decided this was a good place to take profits because the Heikin-Archie was now getting away from flat bottoms. So those are some of the trades we take. I'm going to drop these slides and I'm going to go to the charts on these are live charts on TOS. This is on Friday, and we one of the things we took on Friday was the SPY. This was the SPY. We took it short. There was several places to get in. I actually took it right about lunchtime, right about here. Left the lunch. So this is where I get in. We had a compression and break to the downside. You notice that everything went from bullish here on the current time. We had mixed colors here. We had the multi-time frame saying this was bearish, and the current time frame saying it was bullish. So there was a little bit of buying coming in on the current time frame, but not on the multi-time frame. And then it switched to yellow right here. That's bearish. So this is where I entered. We had a pop out of the box signal here, and actually rode this down for quite a long time. I left the SPY on. I went to lunch and came back, and I think I get out right here as it popped down, and we got a little move to the upside, although the gear and the compass is still telling we can stay long that stock if we wanted to. And you see that it popped up, tells you don't really have to get out, and down it goes some more. So it was, even though we were getting some a little bit of green candles move to the upside, that's just retail traders in there. The institutions were still selling. So you could have stayed in, or you could have re-entered right there and taken it back down again. So that was the SPY. We also had Abbott short. Abbott short, we had several different entries on Abbott, but I believe our entry was right here when this went from blue to yellow on the current time frame, multi-time frame, which is 3 different time frames of the momentum. Was red already. You could have entered here, and down it goes. You notice how these things are bearish. You have this pop out of the box in the compression, and down the stock goes, and it kept going down. And I believe we get out right here as we get basically a little momentum break. But it's still headed down from there. You notice that the gears, all of the current time frame and multi-time frame Laguerre momentum stayed red all day long, so you could have stayed right in the trade. This is a dynamic compression box that formed right here as the stock tried to compress, and then we get a break below it, and that was another entry for a short right there. And you could have just taken this short late in the day and made nice money on that one. So that was Abbott, and we also short Lowe's. Let me go. Okay, so we were short low. Again, another stock with some multiple entries on this one, but I actually took this one fairly late in the day. Took it right here. See this multi-time, the dynamic compression zone right here. That's the dynamic compression zone. Notice this is blue. I wouldn't be taking it here when it's blue. As soon as the twitch switches to yellow and the multi-time frame is yellow, the current time frame Laguerre is telling us we got institutional buy selling going on across all time frames, including the current one. This is where I get in, and we just wrote it down for the last half an hour or so. And again, a nice run from 202 down to about 200 with puts. It was nice, and I used puts that expired next week, I think. So it generated a pretty nice return. I think about 30% that little run like there. So that was Lowe's, and here's one we actually took long on Friday morning, even though the market was extremely weak. And I generally don't use longs when the market is weak like that. But EA had tremendous relative strength on Friday morning. You can see it popped up here. But this is where I get into it. We had it went bullish right here on this current time frame. Laguerre went from yellow to blue. Everything else was green. We had a bullish move here. We had a pop out of the box signal, and there was actually a dynamic compression zone right here. And above the VWAP, which is this pink line, and I rode this one up just this little bit right here. But that little bit right there, with cheap options that I bought, ran from 40 cents for the option, and went up to 68 cents. So that was quite a big move. And so, 28 cents on a 40-cent entry was pretty nice, about 70%. So that was another nice one. And let's see, NVIDIA. Was that one of the other ones that we took? I think that's all the ones I took on Friday. So you can see NVIDIA had several different opportunities. And here's the dynamic compression zone right here. See how long this is? And then here's your breakout of it right here. Right here is as we went blue to yellow. You could get in here, you could get in here, you could get in here, and you could have followed it down just on these two big candles. That was a pretty decent drop in NVIDIA, but there was some other really nice drops in NVIDIA. Friday, there was multiple places to get in here. And back late in the morning, there was some nice entries here. And you're going to see it was painting red all day long. So again, you can get into these, and if you want to just take profits when you see that happen, you can do that, or you can just stay in when this pops down again, because it's still telling you it's red. And here you probably you would get out because it's showing you a blue box, even though it went back bearish again. So that's the setups that the Compass system uses for the highest probability trade setups. I just want to show you how easy it is to find these really high probability trade setups. Most all of these follow through. They're not necessarily going to follow through all day, but you're going to get multiple candles usually, which when you're trading options is extremely effective to make consistent money on these things. So appreciate everybody watching the video. There'll be a link on the video to get some information on the Compass system from Rightline, and how you can get the software and how you can join my room if you'd like. And I appreciate you watching the video, and I'll be doing another one probably a couple times this week, and just so we can go over these. I think eventually you'll see the benefit to how effective this system is. So have a great weekend and have a very great trading week this week.